does it. That's neat.
Hello, and welcome back to the Enricher Business Circle, the show where we explore the minds, the moves, and the missions of people who are truly building on their own terms. Today's guest is someone who refuses to be put inside of a box and has spent her entire career providing why that's the right call. She is nationally recognized as a real estate broker, an author, a speaker, a media personality, a life coach, a sports management company founder, and a former elected official with over a decade of political experience. She's the owner of the JustHomesGroup, known for its innovative marketing and high-level strategy. She built an empire that sits at the intersection of business, leadership, and community impact. She is truly a force to be reckoned with. Please welcome to the show today, Julia Hurley, to the Enricher Business Circle. Julia, welcome.
Oh, Ricky, I'm looking behind me to see who you're talking about. Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you for being a part of the show. So, Julia, I know like when people hear your resume, the real estate agency, our real estate background, the politics, the coaching, the sports management, being an author and speaker, the first question most people probably ask is, where did it all start? What is your origin story? Because that's a big mix.
Origin story, I was a mom at 15, and that situation can go one of two ways. That's about it. It can go really, really well or go really, really not well. And either way, it's your choice. Your circumstances are what they are, but the way that you choose to handle them is on you. And when that happened, I was like, you know what? I have a choice here. I can go down this path, and that's going to be the only thing that happens to me, and that's going to be the only thing that I have to talk about or do or have for the rest of my life. Or I can take this and be resilient and just keep moving forward in the best way that I know how. And that's what I did. I said, I'm still going to go to college. I'm still going to finish school. I'm going to do all the things for myself that I ever wanted to do. And it doesn't matter to me how I did it. I wanted it. And it was very unconventional. So I worked multiple jobs through college. I worked 3 or 4 hours here where I could get it, 3 or 4 hours there. I worked in the service industry, obviously. We did whatever we had to do to get where we needed to go. And it takes its toll when you say it like that. You have to battle yourself, your own expectations, other people's expectations, other people's judgment. That carries through everything you do. And I just didn't let it affect. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to let it affect me. Okay, great. That happened. And stuff happens to people. Move on from it.
Right.
So, people will Google me and they'll be like, you're very, very young to have all the experience that you have. How does this happen to somebody? It doesn't happen to somebody. I went out and did it to myself. I went out and got it. These were the things that were interesting to me. I wanted to do these things. I made it work for me. I made time in the day for the things that I found important. Mm-hmm. And doing that for yourself creates an atmosphere for other people of, sometimes they feel like they're lacking in themselves. So they automatically, you're their enemy. You're always going to be the enemy. There's no possible way that you can do all these things because they can't do it. So you obviously can't do it. Then there's people that do more than you do. And they're like, well, I probably would have done things differently. There's a lot of that. And then there's the people that you find that say, I really want to support what you're doing. I want to help you get better. I believe in you. And those are the people that you cling to for dear life. And you take that relationship with you no matter what. Those people are hard to find. But that's the origin story. It's finding those people and finding myself and finding my path and making it work for me and those around me.
I love it. I definitely will agree to that. I know personally, like my mom had me when she was 16, and she accomplished a lot. And I think that's where me and my sister get our work ethic from. Some people sometimes they joke at us because of all the different things that we've learned and done over time. And sometimes I have to sit back and reflect and be like, oh wow, I've accomplished a lot. Because sometimes I just go through the motions of getting it done that I don't sit in it and be like, oh, I've accomplished this. So I definitely agree with you with that support system and flourishing that so that you can keep going and keep that momentum around what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, it's a challenge to find the right people to do that. so many people, so many people throughout their life will settle for less than they deserve because they think that's what they have to do to get where they need to be.
Mm,
And I don't settle for anything that I don't want. I won't do it. I would rather live in my car broke with absolutely nothing than settle for something or someone that does not carry me forward in my thoughts and dreams. I'll do it alone if I have to. I have not had to. I'm very, 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 very lucky that throughout my life and my career, many, many, many a person have said, wow, there's some talent there. We should foster that. Hey, we should give this person an opportunity. But I also recognized that there was an opportunity and took it.
mm-hmm.
And when those opportunities no longer served a purpose, they were gone for me. I left. And I think a lot of people stay in a space that they know no longer serves their purpose. What's your end result? What's your end goal? What do you want for yourself and those around you? If this is no longer serving that purpose, it has to go.
Right. I definitely agree with that. I think that aha moment for me to actually have that to click. I was years ago. I was watching this Tyler Perry play, and Medill was telling people that some people are like the branches, some people are like the leaves, and she was just using those, saying that's how they are in your life. Some are there long term and for the seasons and things like that. And I was like, I get it. So I definitely get it. And you've spent like a decade in politics as an elected official, and that's a chapter that's not there for most entrepreneurs. Like most
Mhm.
entrepreneurs do not have that background. What did that experience teach you about leadership? What did it teach you about strategy or getting things done, that you still use kind of today in your business?
Yeah, so I think a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to get into politics because if you have a political opinion, you lose business. That's very true. I think that the average American wants to believe that we all have freedom of speech and that we all can say what we want and believe what we want, and that's not true. So many people get politically vested in what they believe
Mhm.
is happening versus what is actually happening, that when as a business owner you attempt to create a better way forward for your city or your county or your state or your nation, by serving in public office, that you have to have either served in your business long enough to take a financial hit, or you have to be able to take that and still keep working. So learning resilience is very, very, very important in business, but unbelievably important in politics because those things overlap more than I would like for people, more than I would like to believe, but more than people think they do. So if I say, hey, this is how I voted on a bill and this is why I voted on it, there'll be 100 people that say, I'll never buy a house from you. I'll never let you represent my kid in the NFL. I'll never give you business. And they'll leave a 1-star review because they don't like what you stand for politically without understanding how politics work or why it's that way.
Mm.
So you really have to get very thick skin and say, okay, Next. Because the right people will attract to you.
Right.
The right people will see what you are doing and why you are doing it and attract to you and help you along the way. But again, so many people get caught up in what other people think about them, whether it's negative, especially negative. Oh, these people don't like me. They talk about me online. Okay. Infamous is still famous. Say my name. My name is something you are saying that helps me. That's all I can say is I am taking up space in your thoughts and your typing and your social media. Then I am taking up space in a place that I could turn that to my advantage, feed my family, and move on with my day. Or we can all get along. But resilience. Politics teaches you resilience.
Was
Very
there
thick skin.
ever a moment, like a decision or a turning point that fundamentally changed like the trajectory of your career because of that with politics?
Not really. I would say, I mean, a decade's a long time. We see people in politics now that are in their 90s, they refuse to leave power. I understand why. Like, they just won't get out of the way. But I think it's something everyone should do in their lifetime. I think every single person should serve in the military one time. I think every single person should run for a public office and see what it's like on the other side of that ballot. Once you've experienced what it's like to be a politician, to actually make decisions that affect, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and millions of people, you learn a lot about building relationships, a give and a get. You're not always going to win. Doesn't matter what you think. You are not always right. Doesn't matter what you or your constituents think. And it's the same in business. I mean, as running a real estate company for now 14 years, my clients are like, I want to price my house at this. That's not it. That's not it. You're not always right. That's not it. It's no different. It's just making sure that you understand your place, and that is to provide a sounding board for them to be heard and understood.
Okay.
Because you can't always win. There's always going to be something bigger than you that needs what you have or want to get. And that's in business, in life, and politics. So you have to find a way to build the relationships, build the resilience, accept the rejection if you don't get what you want, and still move forward and convince other people that you're still a trustworthy person to carry that through.
Awesome. And you just mentioned your real estate agency. Can you tell us more about JustHomesGroup?
Oh yeah. So I became a real estate agent 14 years ago. And 4 years ago, I became a real estate broker and owner of a boutique firm here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I went out on my own during COVID because I wanted to control what was happening in my own conversation. When you become a broker, the buck stops here. There's nobody else that's coming to save you or have a conversation for you. And you really do make a payroll. You have other agents, you have employees, you have people in your office that you are responsible for. So while real estate agents are 1099 employees, they are technically not an employee. Real estate brokers, especially owners of their own firm name, there's no one behind them helping them advertise, helping them create, helping them push their brand and their business and their lives forward. That's all on you. And I wanted to take that risk. I was like, well, I can do this. COVID had already done what it was going to do. I was like, well, what else possibly could happen? What's going to happen? Let's just find out. Worst case scenario, it crumbles to the ground. I have to go back with my tail between my legs to my old brokerage and ask to be an agent again. Okay. So let's find out.
So I know you mentioned like the marketing aspect and how everything is on you. And I've personally worked with a lot of different real estate agents who, like, after they go through the process, everything is on them, and they need help with the marketing and how to kind of reach out and promote themselves to sell or buy houses. And you're known for your innovative marketing and real estate. What does the innovation actually look like in your space right now?
Well, it is shifting. So everything in real estate is absolutely shifting. However, I will say this. Using AI is fantastic. I love to see AI. I love to see a lot more video content. I love to see the younger real estate agents trying really hard to be an expert in their field, because you can't become an expert unless you've had 10,000 hours or 10 years. It usually takes both. So when they're brand new, I'm like, good for you for trying. Good for you for getting that out there. But innovation is really, for me personally, what I believe it truly is using these tools to make a sharper image or a sharper conversation for what you're already establishing in your relationships.
Okay.
Because real estate at the end of the day is still a relationship business. You still have to believe that I'm going to do the best for you. And it's a legal job. These are legal documents, right? So I can hire an attorney, or I can run it through AI, and they can go through everything. But at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility to provide that peace of mind to you and carry you through the finish line. The advertising that we do it's not necessarily cutting edge, but it's consistent, and people rely on it. I do what I say I'm going to do for who I'm going to say I'm going to do it for, when I say I'm going to do it. And people that rely on us for that conversation know that when we say it, it's true. When we present it, this is our biggest and best. We don't skimp out on photographs. We don't skip out on videos. We make sure that every property that we have is presented in its best light, with its best opportunity, to the best people.
Okay.
And we've never not done it that way. We've sold $3,000 lots where you can build a property for $3,000, Tennessee. We've sold $6 million properties and farms on mountainsides. And I still hire my professional photographer for both. I still hire my professional videographer for both. We still present the property in a luxury feel for both. We treat everything like it's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. And we've earned that reputation. So our marketing and advertising is consistent and consistent in presentation and consistent in presentation. It's daily. I mean, there's not one day, and it's multiple times a day on multiple platforms. We have the same names. We have the same photos. You know who you're getting. You know where it's coming from. It is just continuous consistency. And then on the back end, it's me reiterating those things in person, at an event, at a lunch, at a dinner, at a breakfast, at a coffee. This is the one-on-one that you know you're getting with the entire marketing package.
Okay. And it definitely seems like you're showing up for Just Homes from day to day. How are you guys showing up within like the community and things like that when it comes to your marketing?
Yeah, so we do a lot with athletes, which is what got me into my athlete management system.
Okay.
And we give back. So even pre-NIL, when NIL first started, we found a way to give back to the athletes. It's like, who's your favorite player? Would you like to, give, $1,000 to this player? Well, listen, we'll do this through our commissions. This is what we get. These are our fees. And thank you so much for using us. We'll donate on your behalf to this athlete if you would like. We'll donate to this church. We're going to donate for this not-for-profit in your name, a portion of our fees and commissions. We want to involve the community. You refer us. We can't give you a check, obviously, for a referral unless you're another licensed real estate agent. But what we can do is put your name on a donation as a thank you and recognition for you choosing us, because we want the community to also choose us. So if you're in the community and you have something that's special to you, I'm giving that back through you. So involving the clients in the conversation and letting them choose where that money goes. What's important to them? What's relevant to them? Is it cancer research? Is it whatever it is? We've had multiple clients give to the Pat Summitt Foundation for Alzheimer's Association research. Multiple clients want that to be where their donation goes after the fact. And we advertise that heavily. It's like, listen, we are community-based. We are giving to the community through you. So use us, rely on us, trust us, and we'll give back to the community you are in.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned the sports management and helping the youth in the community and the athletes. How I know it's essential for athletes to be able to kind of build their brand and to find opportunities, especially when they're transition in different stages from like high school to college and things like that. Was there like a gap that you saw a need in when it came to that for a lot of the athletes?
Yes. So I had a few athletes receive pretty good NIL contracts for a couple of years in a row, and they wanted to purchase a property instead of rent.
Mhm.
And we did that for them. And during the course of this, of course, we had to teach them everything. And I mean everything. It's the same as a first-time home buyer. You really don't know what you don't know. So teaching an athlete this, they're like, oh, this is just another schedule. This is just another FTT. First this, then this. So it's a
Mhm.
checklist for them. And they understood it and they followed the schedule. And then they were like, well, what about this? What about insurance? What about this? What about liability? What about taxes? And along the way, I became somebody who answered all the questions, and not only answered the questions, but introduced them to people that could assist them in fixing problems and answering more questions. And then that became an entire business model. It's like, okay, well, let me help you start this from day one. Let's not wait 2 years. Let's start from day one. You get your contract. We're going to build toward this. This is the credit we need. This is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. This is our life goal. And then the families jumped in. They're like, we want that too. Great. Let's put an entire program together: financial literacy, tax literacy, insurance literacy, real estate literacy, mannerism literacy, business literacy, conversation skills. And it's just turned into an entire program to manage athletes alongside their agents. I am not an agent. I love working with agents, love working with agents. They go get the money, and then I manage everything from there. And we work together so symbiotically. I don't want to be an attorney and negotiate a NIL deal or an NFL deal, but I will take that money and show you and guide you through that and manage it to where you and your family will never have to worry about anything again.
Awesome. It seems like you were fully activated in your life coaching mode when you went through that process. And I know that with life coaching is fully rooted in like personal development most of the time. And as a life coach and seeing how you help people in different facets or different lanes, what's like the most common thing that you think that are holding like entrepreneurs or leaders um, back, that you see in your clients, or the real root issue that's not at the surface?
Yeah, everybody gets in their own way. That's exactly what it is. There's shadow work. Everybody's in their own way, I promise. It's nobody sees it, or everybody sees it and doesn't say anything. I mean, those are the two things. It's something is constantly in the way of you becoming your best self, and it's usually you. So whether it be the way that you have a conversation with someone, the way that you are perceived as speaking with someone versus what you mean to say, your language pattern, your presentation pattern, your habitual physical presentation of yourself. These things will get in your way. And then once you're finally got those things out of the way, something else is in the way. There's always going to be something you can work on to be your best self.
Mm-hmm.
And through like serious self-reflection, it's like, what is my personality versus my coach? What is my personality versus my spouse versus my kids? How do I make the best of my life and be my best self, so that's who I present to the world? And 99% of the time, it's them in their own way, not seeing what everyone else sees. And then another issue is people don't tell you. They may not know. They just know it's not working.
Right.
A lot of people will love to reject. Well, bring me 25 things and I'll tell you, oh, I don't like that one. I don't want that. I don't, because they know what they don't want. So finding what you do want and then setting a goal to get there, and then boundaries to stop other people from pulling you away from it, is a really good start.
And I love the fact that you mentioned that, because I see that often, like it's from a marketing agency owner, that people they have an image in their head, but they don't know how to relay that image. And with me, most of the time I have to coach a lot of my clients through so that they can get what they want. And sometimes what they think they want isn't what they truly want, because it doesn't go together at
100%.
but
100%.
I
Yeah.
definitely have noticed that when it comes to when I give feedback on projects to my team, if I tell them, hey, this is off center by this amount, or this doesn't look right because you're using this color or the shadow on it, they can get what I'm seeing faster than me saying something is off on this. Go back and figure it out.
Right.
So
at some point, you have to coach people to do that on their own.
Right.
So it's like asking the right questions while also coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I would never say, I feel like something's off. I would say, well, how do you feel about this? What do you see that could be different here that would be more aligned with what your values are? Or what are you hearing or feeling or seeing or touching or experiencing that's more aligned with the boundary you would like to put in place? And then typically the first thought is, I don't know, you tell me, you're the coach. And I say, okay, but that's what we're talking about. Like, I can't read your mind. You tell me what you see. You tell me what you think. You tell me what you feel. You tell me the overall gist. And then you get them talking. It's like, okay, well, what about this? What about that? I have found that asking questions that begin with the word what will give you the answer, and they'll eventually get to it on their own. And once you teach them to think that way, that's all they think about now. It's like, well, what can I do better? What can I do differently? What can I change? What can I work on, instead of someone's telling me what's wrong?
Right. And I also wanted to mention that you show up as a media personality on multiple platforms, and you can clearly understand that you know, like, the power of presence and also the power of the platform. How intentional have you been in building your personal brand?
Zero intent. So that is such a good question. So I have no idea. Well, I do know, but I don't understand. I'll say this: I don't understand why I am so popular. I appreciate being popular. I appreciate being sought after. But I've got around 200,000 followers across my platforms, and I'm just a realtor. I'm just an athlete person. I'm just me. And so in my mind, I think I'm just a regular woman who does regular job things every day, and everything I say seems to be relevant or important. So I take that seriously. I've done absolutely no intention of it in any capacity. I am just myself every day. However, I am aware of what that impact is on other people. So I'm careful about what I present, but I'm not intentional about what I present. I'm like, this is something that happened today that could or could not be a lesson for someone to learn. Yes, I will talk about it on the video. If it's not going to be constructive or helpful, I just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not intention. It's really just being considerate of the situation and other people and how it might be perceived.
So I want to dive into our rapid fire round. So I'm just going to ask you 5 questions, and you just give me an answer really quickly to what you think will be the best answer before we wrap up the show. What is one book that changed how you lead?
My book. This is my book. Go buy my book. It's on thejuliahurley.com. Yes, Panic to Profit. I wrote this book and it changed my life. I wrote down all of my coaching systems and my conversation and my life story in this book, and it changed my life. Just even getting it out. You got to get out. You got to get it out. So changed my life.
The best piece of advice that you've ever given, and who gave it to you?
The best piece of advice I've ever been given was from a mentor that said, you could be one thing, but you can't be both. You can be right or you can be rich, but you cannot be both. Best piece of advice I've ever been given. Really consider every time somebody's ever said something to you, how you want to react to it and say, I can be right or I can be rich. Pick.
Real estate, politics, or sports management, which one taught you the most about people?
Obviously politics, because I haven't been doing the sports management long enough, but it was 100% politics. It really showed me the side of people that it's not always rainbows. politics are what they are, but they really showed me who people can be.
Also, okay, so finish this sentence. The biggest mistake entrepreneurs make when building their brands is.
Inconsistency.
And when you hear the word enriched, what's one word that comes to mind?
Happiness.
Okay. And the last question I wanted to ask you before we wrap up the show today is what do you think about the word legacy? Not what you built, but what you want to leave when it comes to mind.
I think that legacy is leaving behind anybody and any person that remembers you for more than 2 generations. You've left behind a legacy. I think so many people value things that aren't important to everybody. You know, there are names on buildings, there are busts of people, statues of people, paintings of people hanging in museums. That's wonderful. I love that. I love that for those people in their lives. But you know what? It's been 2 generations, and I still quote, my grandfather. I still quote my mentor. I still quote people who impacted me on a level that will continue, that those conversations will grow a legacy for my kids and their kids. And that's what you're building. You're building a legacy for the people after you. It doesn't have to be, hey, look at me, I've got my name on a building. Hey, look at me, I'm so important. It can be 3 generations from now and say, this person taught me this and I've turned out better for it. That's what I believe a legacy is. Leave it better than you found it.
Awesome. Well, Julia, you are exactly what our show is about. Someone who refuses to just choose one lane, who's led with strategy and with heart, which I love, and who's built something that actually matters. Before we wrap up, could you tell the listeners where they can find you, follow you, work with you, or get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So I have created a website called thejuliahurley.com, and it literally houses everything. In one website, you can find every business we run, the links to all the books, the podcasts, the TV shows, the real estate company, the sports management, all of it's in one place. So you don't get too overwhelmed trying to go to 13 places. It's thejuliahurley.com, and social medias are the exact same.
And to everyone listening, if today's episode sparked something in you that is not an accident, Julia just showed us what happens when you refuse to shrink, when you decide that your experience in every room that you've entered into is a place of preparation and not distraction. So thank you for being a part of the Enricher Business Circle. And before you go, if this episode added value to your day, I have one small ask. Take 60 seconds out of your time and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It doesn't cost a thing, but it means everything to us in the show. And it's how more entrepreneurs are able to find the show. So just search the Enricher Business Circle on Apple Podcasts, tap the stars, and leave a few words. I make sure I personally read each and every single word. So I am forever grateful. Hit subscribe while you're there so that you don't miss an episode. And until next time, stay enriched.